What if I told you that the one thing you consume every single day is silently draining your energy, increasing your belly fat, damaging your skin, and putting your heart at risk, and you don't even realize it? It's not fast food. It's not carbs. It's sugar. And today, I'm going to show you what really happens to your body when you quit sugar and why this one decision could completely transform your health. Keep watching. When you quit sugar, one of the very first and most noticeable changes happens in your energy levels. Most people don't even realize how unstable their energy has become because they've been living on sugar spikes for years. Every time you consume added sugar, whether it's in a soda, sweetened coffee, dessert, or even healthy packaged snacks, your blood sugar rises very quickly. This rapid spike might make you feel good for a short time. You may feel alert, excited, or temporarily energized, but that feeling doesn't last. Your body immediately responds by releasing insulin to bring your blood sugar back down. When insulin works quickly to remove that excess sugar from your bloodstream, your blood sugar drops just as fast as it rose. That sudden drop is what causes the crash. You feel tired, sluggish, irritable, and sometimes even shaky or anxious. Then what happens? You crave more sugar to bring your energy back up, and the cycle repeats itself all over again. This constant up and down pattern puts your body on a roller coaster every single day. Instead of running on steady fuel, your system is always reacting. Your brain struggles to stay focused during crashes, your mood becomes unpredictable. You may snap at small things or feel unmotivated for no clear reason. Many people think this is just normal life stress or lack of sleep, but in reality, unstable blood sugar plays a major role. When you remove added sugar from your diet, those extreme spikes and crashes begin to level out. Your body no longer has to produce large amounts of insulin over and over again. Blood sugar rises more slowly and stays within a healthier range, especially when you're eating balanced meals with protein, fiber, and healthy fats. As your blood sugar stabilizes, your energy becomes steady instead of dramatic. You wake up feeling clearer instead of groggy and desperate for something sweet. You can go several hours between meals without feeling shaky or irritable. That mid-afternoon slump that used to hit you hard becomes much less intense or disappears altogether. Instead of relying on coffee loaded with sugar or a quick snack to survive the day, you begin to feel naturally energized. Your brain also benefits from this stability. Glucose is the brain's primary fuel source, but it performs best when levels are consistent. Stable blood sugar supports better concentration, sharper memory, and improved mental clarity. Over time, this balanced state also supports better hormonal regulation. Cortisol, your stress hormone, is closely linked to blood sugar levels. Frequent sugar crashes can increase stress signals in the body. When your blood sugar is more stable, your overall stress response can become more controlled. This means fewer mood swings, less irritability, and a calmer emotional state. You start to feel more in control of your body instead of reacting to cravings and fatigue throughout the day. Stable energy allows you to be more productive, more present with your family, and more consistent with workouts. Rather than chasing quick bursts of energy followed by exhaustion, your body learns how to operate on steady, reliable fuel that supports you from morning to night. One of the most powerful benefits of eliminating added sugar is its direct impact on belly fat and overall fat loss. Many people struggle with stubborn fat around their midsection despite trying different workouts or cutting calories, but they overlook one major factor: insulin. Every time you consume added sugar, especially in large amounts, your blood glucose levels rise rapidly. In response, your pancreas releases insulin, a hormone whose primary job is to move sugar out of the bloodstream and into the cells. While insulin is essential for survival, chronically high levels of insulin create a problem. Insulin is also a fat storage hormone. When it is elevated frequently throughout the day due to constant sugar intake, your body is pushed into storage mode rather than fat-burning mode. When there is more sugar in your bloodstream than your body can immediately use for energy, the excess gets stored. Some of it is stored as glycogen in the liver and muscles, but once those stores are full, the remaining energy is converted into fat. The abdominal area is particularly sensitive to insulin, which is why excess sugar consumption is strongly linked to increased belly fat. Over time, consistently high insulin levels can also make your body less sensitive to insulin, a condition known as insulin resistance. When this happens, your body needs to produce even more insulin to manage blood sugar levels, which further promotes fat storage and makes losing weight even more difficult. By cutting out added sugar, you begin lowering the frequency and intensity of these insulin spikes. Your blood sugar rises more gradually when you eat whole foods that contain fiber, protein, and healthy fats. This means your body releases insulin in smaller, more controlled amounts. As insulin levels stabilize and decrease, your body becomes more efficient at accessing stored fat for energy. Instead of constantly storing incoming sugar as fat, your system can shift toward burning fat between meals. This metabolic flexibility is key for sustainable fat loss. Many people notice that when they remove sugary drinks, desserts, and processed snacks, their waistline starts to shrink even if they haven't drastically reduced their calorie intake. This happens because the hormonal environment in the body changes. Lower insulin levels signal to your body that it's safe to release stored fat and use it as fuel. In addition, reducing sugar often naturally reduces overall calorie intake because sugary foods are typically high in calories but low in nutrients. They do not provide lasting fullness, which leads to overeating. Without sugar driving constant hunger and cravings, appetite becomes more balanced, making it easier to maintain a slight calorie deficit without feeling deprived. Another important factor is inflammation. Excess sugar intake increases inflammation in the body, and chronic inflammation is associated with weight gain and difficulty losing fat. When sugar is removed, inflammation decreases, which supports healthier metabolism and improved hormone balance. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is also linked to abdominal fat storage. Frequent blood sugar crashes caused by sugar consumption can increase stress responses in the body. By stabilizing blood sugar through eliminating added sugar, cortisol fluctuations may reduce, further supporting fat loss around a midsection. Over time, as your body adapts to functioning without constant sugar spikes, it becomes more efficient at regulating hunger, storing energy appropriately, and burning fat when needed. The result is not just a smaller waistline, but a healthier metabolic system that supports long-term weight management and overall health. When you remove added sugar from your diet, one of the most powerful changes happens beneath the surface in the form of reduced inflammation throughout your body. Chronic inflammation is often silent. You may not feel it directly, but it slowly affects nearly every system in your body, from your skin to your heart to your immune defenses. Excess sugar intake is one of the major dietary drivers of inflammation. When you frequently consume high amounts of added sugar, your body experiences repeated spikes in blood glucose and insulin. Over time, this pattern triggers inflammatory pathways that can damage tissues and disrupt normal cellular function. In the skin, this inflammation shows up in visible ways. High sugar intake contributes to a process called glycation, where sugar molecules attach to proteins like collagen and elastin. These proteins are responsible for keeping your skin firm, smooth, and elastic. When they become damaged through glycation, the skin can lose its strength and flexibility, leading to premature wrinkles and sagging. Inflammation also increases oil production and can worsen acne by creating an environment where breakouts are more likely. When you cut out added sugar, you reduce these inflammatory triggers. Over time, collagen is better preserved, and your skin may appear clearer, brighter, and more balanced. Many people notice reduced puffiness and fewer breakouts as their body adjusts to lower sugar levels. Your heart also benefits significantly from reducing sugar. Diets high in added sugar have been linked to increased triglycerides, higher blood pressure, and greater risk of cardiovascular disease. Excess sugar can contribute to the buildup of fat in the liver, which is closely connected to unhealthy cholesterol levels and systemic inflammation. Chronic inflammation damages blood vessel walls and makes it easier for plaque to form, increasing the risk of heart attacks and strokes. When you eliminate added sugar, triglyceride levels often improve, blood pressure may stabilize, and the overall inflammatory burden on the cardiovascular system decreases. This creates a healthier internal environment where blood vessels can function more efficiently, and the heart does not have to work under constant stress. Your immune system is another area deeply affected by sugar intake. High blood sugar levels can temporarily suppress the effectiveness of white blood cells, which are essential for fighting infections. When sugar levels are elevated frequently, the immune system becomes less responsive and more easily overwhelmed. In addition, chronic inflammation diverts immune resources toward managing internal stress rather than defending against external threats. By removing added sugar, you allow your immune system to operate more effectively. With lower inflammation and more stable blood sugar, white blood cells can respond more efficiently to viruses and bacteria. Over time, this may translate to fewer infections, faster recovery, and a stronger overall defense system. Reducing sugar also supports better gut health, which is closely tied to immune function and inflammation control. Excess sugar can feed harmful bacteria in the gut, disrupting the balance of the microbiome. An imbalanced gut can increase intestinal permeability and promote systemic inflammation. When added sugar is reduced, beneficial bacteria have a better chance to thrive, supporting digestion, nutrient absorption, and immune resilience. As inflammation decreases across multiple systems, the body begins to function more smoothly, allowing skin, heart, immune defenses, and overall wellness to improve in a connected and sustainable way. One of the most surprising benefits of quitting sugar happens after you move past the initial withdrawal phase. The first few days without added sugar can feel challenging because your body and brain are used to frequent spikes of dopamine and quick bursts of energy. You may experience cravings, irritability, headaches, or even fatigue. This happens because sugar stimulates the reward centers in your brain, releasing feel-good chemicals that create a temporary sense of pleasure. Over time, your brain becomes accustomed to these frequent rewards. When you suddenly remove sugar, it can feel like something is missing. But this phase is temporary, and once your system begins to rebalance, powerful changes start to happen. As your body adjusts, cravings gradually decrease. The intense desire for sweets that once felt uncontrollable begins to weaken. This is partly because your blood sugar levels become more stable. When you are no longer riding the constant cycle of spikes and crashes, your body doesn't send urgent hunger signals demanding quick sugar fixes. Instead, your energy becomes more consistent, and those sudden sweet cravings lose their intensity. What once felt like a daily necessity starts to feel optional. At the same time, your hunger hormones begin to rebalance. Sugar disrupts hormones like leptin and ghrelin, which regulate fullness and hunger. When you consume high amounts of sugar regularly, your brain may become less responsive to leptin, the hormone that signals you are full. This can lead to overeating because your body doesn't properly register satisfaction. Ghrelin, a hormone that stimulates hunger, can also fluctuate more dramatically with unstable blood sugar. When you eliminate added sugar, these hormones begin functioning more effectively. You start to feel full at appropriate times and satisfied after balanced meals. Instead of constantly thinking about your next snack, you feel more in control of your appetite. Another noticeable change is how your taste buds adapt. When you frequently eat highly sweetened foods, your taste receptors become desensitized. Natural foods may seem bland because your palate has adjusted to extreme sweetness. After several weeks without added sugar, your sensitivity to sweetness improves. Fruits begin to taste sweeter and more flavorful. Even vegetables can have a subtle natural sweetness that becomes more enjoyable. Foods that once seemed normal, like soda or candy, may start to taste overwhelmingly sweet. This shift makes it easier to maintain healthier habits because you genuinely begin to prefer less processed options. As cravings decrease and hunger stabilizes, emotional eating patterns may also weaken. Many people turn to sugar for comfort during stress, boredom, or sadness. When you remove that automatic response and allow your body to reset, you become more aware of your true emotional triggers. Instead of reacting to feelings with sugar, you create space to respond more intentionally. This strengthens your relationship with food and helps you develop healthier coping strategies. Over time, the absence of constant cravings creates mental freedom. You are no longer distracted by the urge for sweets or driven by sudden drops in energy. Your relationship with food becomes more balanced and mindful. Rather than feeling controlled by sugar, you feel empowered by your choices and more connected to your body's natural signals. Quitting sugar is not just a physical transformation, it is a mental one. When you decide to remove something that has been a daily habit for years, you are doing more than changing your diet. You are strengthening your discipline, your self-control, and your confidence. Every time you say no to a craving, you are reinforcing the belief that you are in charge of your choices. That may sound simple, but it has a powerful psychological effect. Many people feel controlled by their habits. They feel like they can't resist sweets or that they have no willpower. When you successfully quit sugar, even for a few weeks, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your impulses. This shift in mindset creates momentum. Discipline works like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. When you practice self-control with sugar, that same control starts showing up in other areas of your life. You may find it easier to stay consistent with your workouts because you've already built the habit of keeping promises to yourself. You may notice that you procrastinate less because your brain is becoming more comfortable with delayed gratification. Sugar provides instant pleasure, but long-term health requires patience. By choosing long-term benefits over short-term satisfaction, you train your mind to think beyond the moment. Confidence also grows with every small victory. Each day you stay committed, you build trust in yourself. Self-trust is one of the most underrated aspects of personal growth. When you repeatedly break promises to yourself, even small ones, your confidence slowly weakens. But when you follow through on your decisions, your internal dialogue changes. You stop seeing yourself as someone who always gives in and start seeing yourself as someone who takes control. That identity shift is powerful because once you believe you are disciplined, your actions naturally align with that belief. There is also a ripple effect in your daily routine. When your energy becomes more stable and your mind clearer from quitting sugar, it becomes easier to make thoughtful decisions. You are less reactive and more intentional. That mental clarity supports better time management, improved focus at work, and stronger consistency in personal goals. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by cravings or energy crashes, you feel steady and capable. This stability allows you to approach challenges with a calmer mindset. Another important change is emotional resilience. Many people use sugar as a coping mechanism during stress or boredom. When you remove that quick comfort, you are forced to develop healthier ways to manage emotions. You might start walking, journaling, meditating, or simply sitting with your feelings instead of masking them. Over time, this builds emotional strength. You learn that discomfort is temporary and manageable without relying on instant rewards. As weeks turn into months, this discipline becomes part of your identity. You no longer see yourself as someone trying to quit sugar. You see yourself as someone who prioritizes health. That mindset influences the food you choose, the people you surround yourself with, and the standards you set for your life. The simple act of quitting sugar becomes a foundation for broader self-improvement, shaping not just your body, but your character and daily decisions.